The Voluntary Assisted Return Program, VARP, is designed to assist asylum seekers and other irregular migrants in Norway to return voluntarily to their home countries. If you wish to apply for the program, this film aims to help you through the online registration process. First of all, you need to go to www.voluntaryreturn.com. This is what you'll see, the introduction page about VARP. Click either here or here where it says Register your application. But before you do that, two things. Remember, you can pause this film at any time. This allows you to make notes or insert information into your application form before moving on. You can also rewind and review items or fast forward past sections that are not relevant to you. We hope you find this useful. Okay, let's take a look at how the application form is to be filled out. The first page you come to is this one. Notice these little red asterisks. Fields marked with these need to be answered in order to complete the application. If you miss one, you'll get a reminder in red when you try to move on. We'll show you an example later. On this page, you need to give your FK or DUF number, your name, date of birth and nationality. Your FK or DUF number first. This is the number given to you by the Norwegian authorities and can be found in your asylum seeker ID card or in letters from UDI, under where it says VARP, meaning our reference. Type in your number here. If you do not know your number, please write N/A like this into the space. Otherwise, you will not be able to get any further in the application process. Next, your name. Obviously, it is important that you use your real name. Type your family name in here. In many countries, this is the same as your last name. The next box is for your given name or names as they appear in your passport, birth certificate or travel documents. Now your date of birth. Type this in here, giving the day first, then the month, then the year. Or you can use the drop-down calendar by clicking here. The final field on this page is for your nationality. You can't write directly into the field, but clicking on it brings up this drop-down list of countries. Click on your home country and the field is filled in automatically. That's that page done. Click on Enter here to move on. If you've missed anything, a reminder like this one will appear on your screen. A note in red shows you what you need to do before moving on. Doing so brings you to page 2. If the box we've just looked at doesn't appear, you'll be here already. This page is for your personal information. Fill in as much information as you can to help your application process. As a minimum, you need to make sure you fill in all the fields marked with a red asterisk. First, your city or town of birth. You can type this directly into this field. Next, the country of your birth. Perhaps this isn't the same as for your given nationality. Clicking on the field brings up the same list of countries as you saw before. Click on the country of your birth and the field is filled in automatically, like this. If the country of your birth no longer exists as such, for example the USSR or Yugoslavia, select the country from which you have a documented permit. Now your marital or civil status. Clicking on the field brings up this drop-down list. Choose the one which is correct for you. Widowed means that the person to whom you were married has died. Cohabitation means that you live with your partner, but that you are not married. Next, your sex. If you are male, click here. If you are female, click here. Now your address in Norway. First, you have to indicate if you live at a reception centre or privately. If you click Private, this box will appear. Fill in the number of the building and the name of the street where you live in the upper field. Fill in the city or town where you live in the lower field. If you do not want to give this information, you must at least give the UDI region where you live in the next field. Choose the correct region from this drop-down list. If you are not sure about which UDI region you live in, perhaps this map will help. If you click Reception Centre, this field appears. Clicking on the field brings up a list of reception centres. Click on the reception centre where you live now, and the field is filled in automatically. Now a section called Case Information. The first 3 fields are to enable us to contact you in Norway. This information is confidential and only for IOM use. This will not be shared with the Norwegian authorities to process your application. If you have a home telephone, type the number in here. If you have a mobile telephone, type the number in here. If you have an email address, type it in this field. Clicking the next field, Immigration Status, brings up this list. Select your current immigration status as far as you know. If none of the first 5 seem appropriate to you, select Not Categorized in this list. Take care not to confuse asylum application and asylum appeal. An appeal can only be made after an application has been refused. Pending means that your asylum application or appeal is currently being processed and that a decision has not yet been made. This field is for the date you applied for asylum if you have done so. Type in the date or use the drop-down calendar. The last item on this page is important document information. This information is organized into a number of easy steps. These steps need to be repeated for each document you wish to enter. First of all, select the document type from the drop-down list. If you want to select others, you will then have to type in the document you mean in the given field. Having completed the first step, click on Location. Where is the document at present? Select the correct option from the list. Remember that UDI is the Directorate of Immigration and PU the Police Foreign Nationals Unit. In the next 3 fields, give the date of issue, the name of the issuing authority, and the date of expiry for the document concerned. If you don't know this information, or this information is not applicable, simply leave the fields blank. For the dates, you can use the drop-down calendars if you find that easier. If the document has a number, type it into this field, otherwise leave it blank. You must then press Save Document before doing anything else. If you want to add further documents, simply repeat the process, remembering to press Save Document for each one. When you are finished, press Next to move on to the next page. If you have no dependents that will be travelling with you, simply click Next to go on to the next page. If you do have dependents who will be travelling with you, you need to fill in the necessary information on this page. If you have more than one dependent, you will need to repeat the following process for each one. To start with, click Add Dependent. This screen will appear. Here you need to fill in similar information to that which you gave for yourself. If you can't remember exactly what to do, you can rewind back to the earlier part of this film for help. When you get to the field marked Relationship with Applicant, click on it to drop this list. Choose the appropriate relationship. If the dependent is your husband or wife, click on Spouse or Partner. Next, select the dependent's nationality in exactly the same way as you selected your own earlier, using the drop-down list. It might, of course, be different from your own. When you've done that, you need to give information concerning your dependent's important document information. Again, do this in exactly the same way as you did your own, remembering to click Save Document for each one. The final step is to click Save Dependent, and you'll come back here to the top of the Dependent Information tab. If you have further dependents, repeat the process for each one, starting with Add Dependent. Otherwise, click Next to go to the next section. And here it is. This is the Travel tab. The first thing you need to do is indicate if you have any special needs for travel. Do you have any medical needs, for example? Perhaps you need wheelchair assistance. If so, type your needs into this field. If not, just leave it blank. Will you be needing any practical assistance when you arrive in your home country? Click on the appropriate button. Now for the final airport of destination. First, in the field on the left, choose the country of destination from the drop-down list. The drop-down list in the field on the right will now give you a list of airports within that country. Choose the airport which is closest to your final destination. If you are not sure which is closest, choose the airport for the capital city of the country. That leaves two fields to complete on this tab. First, the town which is your final destination. Type the name of the town here. Now the final box. Here you can type in any other information that you think IOM should know. Examples could be a health condition, a coming operation, or the expected birth of a child. Anything which might affect the planning of your journey. That's the end of that tab. Click on Next to move on. Moving on brings you to one of two places. You may be eligible for financial support to return, in which case you come here. If you are not eligible, you come here, the tab for Other Information. First, we're going to have a look at Financial Support to Return tab. If you are from Afghanistan or Iraq, you have a separate reintegration project, so this tab does not apply to you. Then you might like to fast forward to the Other Information tab. As you can see, this tab has only two questions. The first asks about what kind of education or schooling you have had. All you need to do is click on the relevant box or boxes. Be aware that more than one may apply to you. If you've been to a university, for example, you'll probably have to click all the boxes except No Formal Education. No formal education means that you have never been to school. If you have had training for a particular type of job or trade, for example, you might want to click Others Specify. If you do, type in what kind of education or training this was. Now the second question. What do you intend to do with your reintegration cash grant when you return to your home country? Again, click on the option that is most relevant to you. If you click Others Specify, type in what it is you intend to do. Be aware that you do not actually have to do as you answered on your return. This information is useful to IOM and will not affect whether you will be given a grant or not. Now you need to move on to the Other Information tab. Click on Next. Here we are. These two sections are important to IOM with a view to improving our services. That means being in a better position to assist people in situations similar to yours. Firstly then, how did you find out about the VARP program? Here you can tick all the options that reflect your experience. The second section concerns monitoring this program. IOM would like to contact you after your return to find out about your experiences of returning to your home country, and to hear if you have any suggestions for improvements. You don't have to agree to do this, but IOM would find it very helpful. If you agree to being contacted, fill in these fields as well as you can. The telephone numbers are those we will be able to contact you on in your home country. That completes the information that you need to provide. Now you need to click on Save Application. This does not send your application, but simply saves the information you have given. This text box that now appears allows you to go back and check the information you have given if you are unsure about anything. If you want to go back, click on Cancel and this page will appear. From here, you can click on the various tabs to take another look. When you are satisfied, return to the Other Information tab, press Save Application, and you'll come back to this pop-up. This time, press OK. This page is the one you use to submit your application. The section here at the top gives an overview of the information you have given about yourself and your dependents, if you have any. Pressing this button submits your application. This does not mean, however, that processing your application will start immediately. First, you will have to sign a declaration form. More about that in a minute. If you do not want to submit your application now, you may want to go back to the VARP information page. If so, you must click here. That brings up this pop-up. Here, it is important to understand that all the information you have provided will be lost if you click OK. If you later decide to submit an application, you'll have to start all over again. If you click Cancel, you return to this page. If you now want to submit your application, press this button, and this screen appears. It says, "Your application has been submitted. Thank you." What is most important on this page is that you click on Print Save here. This produces a PDF document of your application, like this, and the declaration form that was mentioned a few moments ago. Remember that without the declaration form, your application will not be processed. Save and print both documents and sign the declaration form. The signed declaration form must then be sent to IOM. You can scan it and send it by email at osloreturn@iom.int or send it by fax to 47 23 10 53 21. Once IOM has received your signed declaration form, your application will be processed. It is also essential that you send the original signed declaration form to IOM at this address: IOM Oslo, PO Box 8927, Youngstorget, NO0028, Oslo, Norway. That brings us to the end of this information film. We hope that you have found it useful and wish you well for the future. If you have any questions regarding the Voluntary Assisted Return Program or about how to fill out this form, contact IOM Oslo staff on free hotline 800 Frivillig Retur, 800 37484, or IOM Oslo at iom.no.